I can't believe that I'm talking about fall fashion, but here we are. We're going over my 2025 fall fashion predictions, although they're not even really predictions because we're basically almost in fall. It's like end of August, which... what? Where is time going? Let's get straight into it. If you're new here, by the way, please subscribe to my channel because I would love to have you. And if you've already subscribed, we're so close to 5,000. Let's hit it like this month. We're gonna get there and I'm so excited. Anyways, let's get into the video. This one category that I'm about to mention is a really wide range. It just is like a little umbrella, and a lot of things fall underneath it. And this category is called minimal maximalism. I think that the outfits that we're gonna see in fall are still gonna be really minimal in the sense of not being too out there or like avant-garde, I believe is the word. Not too like costume, but I do think that they'll be maximalist in small little details. For example, we're gonna see a lot of fringe in the fall. I also think that we're gonna see a lot of draped fabric in like coats, on shirts, on sweaters, just a lot of like draping, and then a lot of like larger silhouettes. So padded shoulders, just like bigger pieces, things that take up literally more space. And the reason I say that it's still a minimalistic look is because the outfit itself is made up of pretty minimalistic pieces, but the way that the pieces look have a little bit more detail to them. So for example, like right now I'm wearing a pretty simple basic outfit. I'm just in like a sweater, and I think that the minimal maximalism would be something like this, but for some reason like the shoulders are really big. There would be something else going on with a pretty simple piece. I think that that's what minimal maximalism is. If you're shopping for things, just look for pieces that are a little bit more interesting. Hopefully at this point you have some good capsule pieces, some good basics. Like you need obviously good t-shirts, you need good tank tops, you need a good pair of jeans, like really simple pieces. And I think now if you've had that like base level checked off in your wardrobe, you can start to bring in more fun pieces, more pieces that have a little bit extra, but without being too much. Like you want to be able to wear the piece multiple times without it being like, oh my God, she's always wearing that same top that's super out there, but still have something that's a little bit more unique. Having a piece that is too out there just isn't gonna get worn enough. Like I have this dress that I'm obsessed with that I bought years ago, and it has like print all over it. Like it's like magazine prints all over it. I've worn it once. I feel like once I've worn it once, you can see that it stands out enough that you'll see if it's being repeated, whereas something that's like minimal maximalism can be blended into multiple different outfits. Just touching on the whole fringe thing, I'm not a huge fan of fringe, but I do think that there are certain ways that I do like it. I'm not a huge fan of the Western aesthetic, but I can appreciate it on other people. And I think that when it comes to fringe, it has to be done in a little bit more of like an elevated, luxury looking way rather than a Western way for me to actually enjoy it. I'll put an example on the screen of what I'm talking about because there's only been like a few pictures where I actually think, oh, that's pretty, I would wear that. Usually it's not my cup of tea, but I do think that fringe is going to be really popular for certain people that, you know, this aesthetic calls to, I guess you could say. The draped fabric, on the other hand, though, I love the way this looks. Whether it's like a scarf that's like draped over you and you take your bangle or your bracelet and you just like put it here to kind of hold it together. I feel like the draping in the tops has been really popular for the past like year or two, you know, like in the front with the really like slouchy looking folding neckline. But I think that now it's going to be brought into other pieces like sweaters, like jackets, like coats, like dresses. It's not just going to be those tops. And I just love the way it looks. I think it's so pretty. I also think a lot of the times you can wear your pieces backwards and it can give that drapery effect. Like let's say you have like a thinner cardigan, instead of wearing it typically how you would with like the buttons in the front, throw it on backwards and it might be able to sit in a way that creates some cool dimension or is just like able to add some interest to your outfit. Next thing up is casual academia. Sometimes when I say these aesthetics, I'm like, this is so crazy, but that is what I would call it. It's like, imagine you go to Hogwarts, but they're dressed in a little bit more of like a cool girl, casual way and not quite as studious. That's what I'm picturing. It kind of blends in with like that old money look, but it's more studious than it is subtle luxury, if that makes sense. I think that this style is going to be really, really popular, and it can be done in ways that make it look a lot more casual or a lot more dressed up. The pleated skirts and the knit vests, and I think blazers are still going to be a thing. Hermes inspired bags or Hermes bags, if you've got it like that. I think that the more like structured business looking purses are going to be really big for this aesthetic. I think I'm like losing my voice all of a sudden. I went to a concert yesterday and now I think it's affecting me. Next up, we're gonna do 3 colors. The first one up is olive green, and I think olive green is gonna be really popular this year. I think olive green is just such a flattering color. There's something so warm about it, and it kind of looks like a neutral even though it's not, and I just love olive green. It's such a nice pop of color in a purse, in shoes, in a coat, and I think it's gonna be really popular this season. I also think burgundy is gonna be really popular. That's no surprise. Like, it's fall. Army green and burgundy are obviously gonna be popular for the most part every year, but I think that this year it's going to be more of like a very bright burgundy. And then I also have been seeing a lot of red on the runway, and it's not like that muted down brick red. It's more of like a bright pink red. I don't know how to explain it. I don't know what this color is necessarily called. So I've been seeing that a lot on the runway, and I'm curious to see if that translates to people in the real world. I find that a lot of people, at least where I live, we dress very minimalistically, especially in terms of color here. Like, everyone's wearing black or beige or gray, maybe brown, but like no one's popping out in like a bright pink top. And I think that I'm noticing on the runway now a lot more color coming up. Like, a lot more blue was seen a lot in the summer. I think that there's a lot of like that bright red being seen right now for fall and winter. So I am curious how that's going to translate to what it looks like in the real world, and if we're going to see more color in the real world. And then the last color that I'm going to mention is brown, specifically dark brown. Again, this has been popular for the past like 2 years, I want to say, and I don't think it's going anywhere. I think that we're just getting into more like richer colors. The brown that we're going to be seeing is going to be a lot deeper of a brown, a lot more like rich chocolate brown. That's exciting. I love brown, so I can't complain about that. Next thing up that I have been seeing a lot on the runways that I also think we will see in person is maxi coats. And this is such a cool one. I love the way that this trend looks. Basically all it is like your everyday coats, but maxi length. So they basically are like borderline hitting the floor, if not hitting the floor. I love the way a coat looks when it hits the floor, but then also like my brain is like, dirty. But for a picture or for a runway, stunning. It's gorgeous. It's like your coat has like a few centimeters of a train, which is stunning to me. I think we're also going to see that the coats are being belted. I think we saw that some last year, but I think it's going to be even more this year, whether it's like the coat itself is belted or the piece that you're wearing underneath the coat is belted and like matching and tying into the coat. I think that will be very popular, and I really like the look of it. Next one up, we have slouchy bags. I think that oversized slouchy purses are going to be really popular for this fall and winter. I think everyone's kind of over not being able to carry everything they need in their little mini bags. So for me personally, I find that every day or like on an everyday basis, I'm grabbing my bigger purses just so that I can carry everything I want with me. And also it just adds a little bit more effortlessness to an outfit in a way. So I think that these big slouchy bags, like the suede ones, the pattern ones, red, are all going to be really trendy again for this fall and winter. So the last thing I have on this list is pebbleum tops, and I can't believe I'm even saying that. That's crazy to me. It just makes me think of when I was in like, I don't know, middle school, I feel like was the last time I saw the pebbleum tops be super popular, but I think that they're going to be big again. I think it's in a little bit different of a style than we've seen previously. It's not necessarily those like structured like business pebbleum tops. I think it's going to be even just in a more casual, like cool way with more like daytime tops and like going out. So I'm sure we'll see the other style as well, but I do think that they're a little bit more of like a toned down, softer material pieces that are in that pebbleum style. That's really exciting. I'm actually really excited to see that. I think pebbleum adds a beautiful like silhouette to, like an outfit. If you're wearing like a fitted bottom on the bottom, whether it's like a pencil skirt, who knows if we'll see that, or like your capris or tight pair of jeans or like a business pant, and then you have your pebbleum top. It obviously adds like a nice little waist to you and some like attention to your hips. I think that's gorgeous, and I do think that we're going to see that more and more going into winter. So look forward to that, because that's crazy to me, but also exciting, and I get it. In hindsight, I'm like, it is a very pretty looking like silhouette, so it makes sense that it would come back in trend. Anyways, I think that's everything for this video. If you've made it this far, comment down below a heart so I know you've made it to this point and watched all the way to the end, and subscribe if you haven't already, and like the video if you liked it. Comment down below if you have any suggestions on other videos that you'd like to see from me, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye guys.